with the legs in front of you. We're gonna start with the warm-up and then we're gonna do the breathing, okay? So everybody can join at the last minute because today there's just a few of us to start at the right time. So cross your legs, sit upright. So you're trying to start to engaging the core muscles so that you're pulling up from the pelvic floor all the way up to the spine, keeping your spine upright. And then you're placing your hands on top of your knees or on your thighs, wherever is more comfortable for you. And start engaging with the breath. So you start breathing through the nose only. Starting to lengthen the breath, so it's the same length on the inhale as it is on the exhale. So you're breathing in through the nose to the count of 5. Breathing out through the nose to the count of 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do the breathing later on, and so we're just gonna start connecting with the breath and keeping ourselves upright. And then interlace the fingers in front of you, push the palms away from you, arms straight. On the next inhale, you're bringing your hands up towards the ceiling, sucking up the belly in. And then on the next inhale, keep your left hand up towards the ceiling, right hand down towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen the left side of the body. Exhale, lean towards your right, bending the right elbow, looking down towards your left armpit. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Really stretching the left side of the body. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Left hand by the block, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the right side. Exhale, lean towards your left, bending the left elbow, looking towards your right armpit. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then come back to the center. Right hand behind you, left hand over the right knee. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist towards your right. Chin parallel to the floor and you're looking towards your right shoulder. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Inhale, come back to the center. Left hand behind you, right hand over the left knee. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist towards your left. Chin parallel to the floor and you're looking towards your left shoulder. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then you're coming back to the center. Place your hands just in front of you. And then very gently bending forward at the hips. You start folding forward. Just do very gently. We're just warming up at the moment. And then start walking your hands towards your left. Once you've reached your limit, place your right hand over the left hand, leaning over your left leg. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then come back to the center on the next inhale. On the exhale, you're starting to walk the hands towards the right leg, left hand over the right hand, leaning forward onto the right leg. Stretching that left side of the body. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Walk the hands towards the middle. And now we're going to do the breathing as I'm explaining to you the 2 chakras. I've decided to put the 2 chakras together, the third eye and the crown, because the yoga poses from the point of view of yoga is pretty much the same. So I'll give you an overview because they're quite similar of the 2 chakras while you're doing the breathing, and then we're going to carry on with the class, okay? Can you just confirm that you can hear me? Can you put the thumbs up? Perfect, okay. And I hope everything goes all right. Thank you. Okay, so want you to see this, okay? So when we're gonna do the breathing, so you're gonna cross your legs in front of you. You're gonna be quite comfortable. So you wanna put some pillows on the side of the knees if you need them, okay? What we're gonna do the alternate nostril breathing. So you're gonna place with your right hand the index and the middle finger on your third eye. The thumb is on the right of the nose, and the ring and the little finger are on the left, okay? So what you want to do now, you're breathing in, so you're blocking the right nostril with the thumb as you're breathing into the count of 5 through the left nostril, and then you're letting go of the right nostril and you're obstructing with the ring finger the left nostril, and you're breathing out through the right nostril, okay? To the count of 5. Breathing in through the left nostril, breathing out through the right nostril, okay? So I'm gonna cross my legs in front and explain to you as you're doing the breathing. Remain upright, still engage the core muscles, and index and middle finger, and then inhaling through the left nostril, pushing the right nostril in with the thumb, exhaling through the right nostril, pushing with the ring finger into the left nostril, okay? So the third eye is situated just as you put where your index and middle fingers are at the moment, okay? It is associated with the color purple, and is very much in tune with the spiritual realm. So you remember when I told you that the heart was the midway between the grounding and the spiritual. Now we're really getting into the spiritual, okay? So you're having quite a good vision, but I'm not only talking about what you see, but also a vision about where you are in the world, where you want to go, and also quite in tune with your intuitive part of the brain, and also with your spiritual part of the brain. The crown chakra is very much in connection with the spiritual world, but also with your spirit guides, and also with that intuition that we're talking about, where it's almost like that gut feeling that sometimes you want to follow a certain path, but because you're always behaving in a certain way, you never listen to that. Okay, so it's very much in tune with your gut feeling, your instinct, your unconscious mind. Okay, so balanced third eye and crown chakra will basically have this connection with the spiritual realm, where you're actually in tune with your unconscious part of the body, where you're listening sometimes to your gut feeling, and regardless of the fact that it feels like something odd, you're still going ahead and see where it takes you, okay? You've got good intuition, high intelligence. Well, it doesn't mean intelligence, it's more like being able to analyze things, but at the same time you're very grounded. So the thing is, carry on breathing, okay? The thing is, the crown is very much connected to the root chakra, so to be able to function properly, you need to be very grounded, okay? Now, a very closed chakra, third eye and crown, means that you may suffer from headache, migraines, there's depression, and there's quite a reluctance to embrace anything spiritual or even a certain religious belief. Whereas a two open, and you're very much connected to the material world, okay? So you're very, very much rooted to that. A two open chakras, the two chakras, means that you've basically abandoned the world. You want to be a hermit somewhere where all you want to do is connect with the spiritual world. And you're not really in tune with what's happening in the world, so very much in your head, okay? If the chakras are not balanced, you may suffer from headaches, migraines, depression, these are the physical things that you suffer from, okay? So what we're going to do today, because we've worked from the root all the way up, is very much, the poses in yoga are very much very classic, okay? So there's nothing particular that is connected to these two. But because we've done these postures before, try to really connect with all the chakras and keeping in mind that we're focusing on the top of the head. So whenever you're looking up, you're trying to look up towards the third eye, okay? So now we're coming to the top of the mat. So get rid of the block, but make sure you get hold of a pillow. You've got a block next to you and you might have a belt, okay? Because we might need it later on. Come to the top of the mat. Big toes are touching, feet together. You're balancing the weight so it's in the middle of the feet, not too much on the front, not too much on the heels. Somewhere in the middle. Start pulling the kneecaps up, suck the belly in. To connect with your root chakra, you're tilting your pelvis under until you're feeling a tightness under here, okay? Suck the belly in, open the chest. Tuck the chin under, arms by your side, you're looking just beyond your nose. Now feel this connection with the earth, but at the same time you're feeling that the spine is very upright, all the way up to the top of the head. So it's almost as if you're feeling that somebody's pulling from the top of your head with a rope and you're hanging from there, okay? But you're still rooted in the earth. And then bring your hands together in front of your chest. We're going to do 3 sun salutations and we're going to focus on the cobra, okay? So I'm going to show you now. On the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, look up at the hands, suck the belly in, and exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands on the shin, the ankle, or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat, step the right leg out into a lunge, left leg to meet it into a high plank. Set the plank, push the heels away from you, pull the kneecap up, squeeze the glutes, and you want to push the bum down because most of the time the bum is up. Looking towards the mat, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, knees to the floor. Leading with the chest, rubbing the elbows by your rib cage, you're bringing your body down to the floor. Hands underneath the shoulders, and then top of the feet on the mat. On the next inhale, lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders away from you. You're starting to look up towards the ceiling. Don't move the head, you're just moving the eyes. One more breath here. On the next inhale, tuck your toes under. Coming to your hands and knees. Bring the seat towards your heels and you're coming up into a downward dog. Step your feet forward, feet are hip width apart, big toes are slightly tucked in. Now on the downward dog, you're trying to aim the top of the head down towards the floor. Keep your legs as straight as you can, aiming to bring the heels down towards the floor, top of the head aiming down towards the floor. So you're basically looking at your feet or you're looking down towards your belly button. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. On the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands. Bend the knees and start to walk your feet towards your hands. Once you reach the hands, keep your feet together. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling and exhale, hands by your sides. Second one. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward. Exhale, hands on the mat, add a step or jump into a high plank. Inhale, set the plank. Exhale, add a low plank or knees to the floor. If you're going low plank, you're coming halfway down. Inhale, push the body through the hands. Now you're straightening up the hands, chest forward, looking ahead, but you're looking with your eyes up towards the ceiling. So the head is forward, you're looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale here to the count of 5. Exhale here to the count of 5. On the next inhale, tuck your toes under. If you want, you're coming into your hands and knees. Otherwise, you're coming up into a downward dog. Step your feet forward, heels down towards the floor, legs straight. Now we're connecting the crown chakra to the root chakra. Tilt your pelvis under, so you're feeling the anal sphincter contracting at the same time, so you're tilting your pelvis under, sucking the belly in, top of the head aiming down towards the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together, push the hands away from you, so you're bringing the torso towards the spine. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Feeling that connection between the root and the crown chakra. And then on the next inhale, looking towards your hands. This time, if you want, you can step one foot, so you're bending the right leg, knee towards the chest, bring the knee towards the chest until you're meeting in between your hands. And then step the left foot forward, exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Okay, last one. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, exhale, hands on the mat at a step or jump into a high plank. Inhale, set the plank, exhale at a low plank or knees to the floor. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Connect again with the root chakra by tilting your pelvis under, top of the head down towards the floor, squeeze the shoulder blades together, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And if you want to practice the Ujjayi breathing, which is the one that we were doing for the third eye, do it so for the rest of the class. So that ocean breathing, trying to get the breath at the back of your throat. On the next inhale, look towards your hands, add a step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Come to the top of the mat, big toes are touching. And then on the next inhale, you're stepping your right foot two-thirds down the mat, with the toes of the right foot pointing towards the top right corner of the mat. We're going to do the triangle pose. Both legs are straight, heels down onto the floor. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, pull the kneecaps up. Exhale, you're leaning towards the front leg, hand on the shin or on the inside of the ankle. Right hand up towards the ceiling. If you want to use the block, you're placing the block, I haven't got a block, so this shelf, in the front of in the inside of the foot, and you're bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling. Now again, you want to connect all the chakras, okay? So you're pulling you're contracting the anal sphincter, sucking the belly in, elongating the spine on the inhale, so you're not collapsing onto the front. And then you're looking at the straight ahead or towards the right hand. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips. Exhale, we're turning the feet. So the left foot turns towards the back of the mat. Reposition yourself so that your left foot is slightly out and you're turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Pull the kneecaps up on the inhale, hands parallel to the floor. On the exhale, lean forward, hand on the shin or on the inside of the ankle. Left hand up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you. On the next inhale, pull the kneecaps up. Lengthen the right side of the body. Exhale, turning the chest towards the side, looking either straight ahead or towards your left hand. Remember to bring the left shoulder towards the spine as you're still keeping your right hand pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're turning towards the sides so that your body is at the sides of the mat. Now walk your feet slightly out. We're gonna fold forward, but we also want to try to bring the head down towards the floor. You're pointing the top of the head down. If you can manage, you're trying to bring the head touching the mat, okay? So on the next inhale, hands on the hips. Make sure the edges of the feet are parallel to the mat. Big toes are slightly tucked in. You're placing the weight on the edges of the feet. On the next inhale, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, you're folding forward. You're coming halfway down. Bring your arms out. Looking down towards the floor. 3, suck the belly in. 2, and 1. On the next inhale, you're folding forward. If you need the block here, place the block underneath the shoulders, but try to release the head down towards the floor. If you can go and touch the floor, this is how you do it. You're placing your hands on the same line as your feet, and then you're folding forward, bringing the head down. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come up a little bit, walk your hand underneath the shoulders, micro bend the knees, place your hands on the hips, and come all the way up. Now bring the heels towards the center, toes towards the center, heels towards the center, and you're walking to the top of the mat. Okay, we're going to do warrior 2 now. Now everybody knows by now what it is, so we're going to really focus on the warrior 2. Feet together, step with your right foot out, a long stance, okay? Depending on how long your legs are, you're aiming eventually to have your knee above the ankle with the thigh parallel to the floor. Okay, the edge of the right foot is pointing towards the edge of the mat. Your front leg is bent, and you're trying to guide your knee out to the side as you're turning the right leg out, okay? So you're lifting the right foot arch up, and you're sitting in between the legs, so you're not leaning forward. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor, roll the shoulders away from you, suck the belly in, and you're starting to look towards your left middle finger, turning the chest towards your right, but making sure that left knee doesn't come in. You're still guiding it out, so you still should be able to see your feet or your big toes. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Now we start to reconnect with that root chakra by tucking the pelvis under until you're feeling that that area is connected and energized, and then you're sitting upright with the torso. And then on the next inhale, place your hands on the hips. We're gonna turn over, okay? Straighten the left leg. You're turning it at 90 degrees so that it's facing the edge of the mat, and then you're facing that right foot towards the back of the mat. If you need to walk that right foot out a little bit, do so. Place the weight on the edge of the foot, of the left foot, turning that left leg out, and now you're bending the right leg, so you still want to see the big toes, sitting in between the 2 legs, so you're not leaning forward. Inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor, roll the shoulders away from you. If you want to work on the bat wings, which I have, you start to contract that tricep, so you're starting to pull that lower muscle up by just trying to bring the lower arms in. Looking towards your right middle finger, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands on the hips, straighten the front leg, and you can take a small step with your back foot and then step to the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, now have your feet hip-width apart. Big toes are slightly tucked in. And we're gonna fold forward, okay? Again, we're gonna try to aim the top of the head down towards the floor. Hands on the hips. On the next inhale, open the chest. Exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. And then you're trying to grab hold of the big toes. If you need to bend your knees to do so, please do so. With your index and middle finger, you're grabbing the big toes. And then flop the elbows to the side. And then on the next inhale, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, you're folding forward, letting go of the head down onto the floor. So the top of the head is pointing down towards the floor. Now you can keep your knees bent and you can rest the torso towards the thighs, like so. Or you can start straightening the legs and pulling onto the big toe while you're pressing the big toe out. So that basically that helps you to open the chest. Still working on trying to bring the top of the head down towards the floor. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come halfway up. Place your hands on the hips, bend the knees if the legs were straight, and come all the way up into a standing position. Okay, so we're going to do the balancing pose, which is called head to toe, okay? So the aim is to basically bring your legs forward, and then you're trying to bend forward, okay? The easier version, have the foot against the wall, okay? And then as you've got your hands on your hips, you're folding forward at the hips, and then you can grab hold of the leg and try to bring the chin towards your chest. If you want to do the full pose with the balancing pose, you're balancing on your left leg, tiptoes of the right, and then you're grabbing hold with your index and middle finger, the big toe. Stand up straight, straighten the front leg, and then if you want, you can start folding forward. Okay? Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then bend the knee and release the leg down towards the floor. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Get the leg off the wall, and then we can do it on the other side, on the other leg. Bringing the left leg up the wall if you want to. Balancing yourself onto the right leg, and then hands first on the hips, folding forward. As you're forward, you're grabbing hold of the leg, and you're trying to bring the chin down towards the leg. Otherwise, you're balancing yourself onto the right leg, tiptoes of the left, grab hold of the big toe with the index and the middle finger, standing up straight, straightening the right leg, and then see if you can go down, touching the leg with the head. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, bend the knee and release the legs down onto the floor. Now we're going to get onto the hands and knees. And we're coming onto the hands and knees, onto the mat. So the knees are directly underneath the hips, the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. You're coming into a tabletop. And then we're going to do the cat and the camel. So on the next inhale, you're looking forward. Curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out. Exhale, curve the back towards the ceiling, push the bum towards your hands, looking down towards your knees. Inhale, look forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out. Exhale, curve the back towards the ceiling, push the bum towards your hands, looking down towards your knees. One more. Inhaling, looking forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out. We're gonna bring your left arm underneath the right, bringing your left shoulder, left side of the head down towards the floor, bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, start bringing the hands back down onto the floor, and we're gonna do it on the other side. So we're bringing the right arm underneath the left, right shoulder onto the floor, right side of the head, bringing your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, come back into the center. We're gonna sit on the heels. Now grab hold of the pillow. And put it on the side because we're gonna need it for the next move, okay? So you're bringing the toes together. You're bringing the top of the head on the front of the knees. And then hands on the heels. You're pushing your hips up towards the ceiling as you're rolling to the top of your head. So you're bringing your bum up towards the ceiling. 3, opening up your upper back. 2, and 1. On the next inhale, sit on your heels. You're coming all the way up. You're coming into child pose. Resting the forehead down onto the floor, all the way up. We're coming into a seated position, so shift your weight either side of the feet so you can come into a seated position. First of all, we're going to do the classic 2, which is the staff pose and the folding forward. So release the flesh away from your buttocks, keep your legs as straight as you can, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, hands either side of the bum, sucking the belly in on the inhale, connecting by pulling the pelvic floor up with the root chakra, pushing the chest forward, tucking the chin in, really working on all the chakras as you're elongating the spine, pointing the top of the head up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands wherever they're comfortable on the legs. Feeling when your abdominals are starting to let go, you're stopping there, tucking your chin under, making sure you're pressing the knees down onto the floor, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. On the next inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine, and exhale, you're folding forward. Really connecting with all the chakras as you're really sucking the belly in, engaging the pelvic floor, tucking the chin under so the spine is in one long line. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And now on the next inhale, come all the way up. Now you're crossing your legs. You might want a block if you want to, just underneath your bum. And you can place the pillow on top of your knees. You also need a block for the front of you, so perhaps actually use a pillow underneath your bum if you need it, and another pillow on the knees if you can. And then you're starting to fold forward, you're placing the block so that is upright, and you're trying to rest your forehead onto the block so that it is comfortable, with your arms along the mat in front of you. I'm gonna stay here for a little bit, just a couple of breaths, Really connecting with the breath, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Two more breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5 through the nose, exhaling to the count of 5 through the nose. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up, get rid of the block and the pillow. Straighten the legs in front of you. Now, the block, you can put it underneath your bum. We're gonna try to do what is called hero pose, and then we can go into another pose from that, okay? So you're trying to bring one, you're grabbing hold of the right ankle from the top of the foot, and you're bringing that foot on the outside of the bum. And then if you find that this is already difficult, just extend the left leg. Otherwise, you're going to try and do the same with the other leg. So both knees are together and the feet are on either side of the bum. Otherwise, the one leg is straight, okay? You can put quite a few pillows underneath your bum to help you doing this. Now, hands either side of the feet, pushing the chest forward, sucking the belly in, looking forward. If you want to go further on this pose, you start walking your arms away from you, and you can put the top of your head down onto the floor. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. To come out of this pose, you're placing your hands on the feet, tucking the chin under, pushing your chest forward until you're coming back up into a seated position, and then roll slightly onto the left so that you can release the right leg, and then roll onto the right so that you can release the left leg. Get rid of the block, legs forward, and now we're going to open the legs out to the side. This is the last pose, and then we're going to do some meditation, okay? A relaxation down onto the floor before we do the meditation. Legs out wide, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, hands in the middle of the groin. And then on the next inhale, you're starting to walk your hands away from you. You're really trying to fold forward at the hips. So maybe you can rest the forearm down onto the floor. Otherwise, you can rest your forehead down. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, connecting all the chakras. And then on the next inhale, start walking your feet towards your hands, towards your groin. And bring the legs together. Coming into the middle of the mat. Make sure you grab hold of the belt or the strap that you use for the mat, for the yoga mat. And then release yourself. So come into the middle and place your hands in front of your knees. Roll yourself onto your back, hugging the knees to the chest. You can rotate the knees clockwise and anti-clockwise to give yourself a little bit of a relaxation here onto the lower back. And then keeping the knees together as close as you can towards your chest, you're bringing the knees onto the right side of the body, trying to touch the floor, opening the left arm out to the sides, looking towards your left hand. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, bring the knees and the head towards the center. And then open the right arm to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling, bringing your legs towards the left, looking towards your right hand. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Release the left leg down onto the floor so that the feet is on the mat. And then you're straightening the right leg. If you need a belt, you're placing the belt on the ball of the right foot and then you're straightening the right leg. You can grab hold of the strap with one hand and then you can straighten the left leg, pressing down with your left arm down and really trying to straighten the right leg. Still really work on your breath and then start bending the right knee, release the strap, place your right foot down onto the mat, bend the left leg, place the strap onto the foot. If you want, you can grab hold of the big toe with the index and the middle finger and straighten the leg, but your head shouldn't be off the floor, okay? So you want to still be nice and long. If your head comes off the floor, then use the strap. Straightening the left leg, pointing the toes towards your body. Straightening the right leg if you want, pressing down with your right arm onto the thigh of the right leg. Inhale into the count of 5 and exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, bend the left leg, hug the knees to the chest, and then start rocking back and forward until you're coming up into a seated position onto the mat. Okay, at this point, we can do either a shoulder stand or a headstand. The point for the headstand is to connect the top of the head down onto the floor, okay? So there's two options here. You can double the mat a few times, create a little bit of padding, bringing the mat close to the wall, and then you're placing your hands, so you're making a triangle basically. The hands are underneath the shoulders and you're bending the elbows back as you're placing the top of the head down onto the floor. And you can stay here for perhaps a couple of breaths, then you're coming back into child pose, and then you're coming back up again, placing the top of the head down onto the floor. If you want to do the headstand, you're creating a triangle with your hands and your arms, so you're basically squeezing the elbows together, interlacing the fingers, placing them onto the floor, and then you're placing the top of your head in front of the hands, coming into an inverted downward dog, walking the knees towards the chest as you're lifting the legs off the floor, and then you're coming up into a headstand. Otherwise, do the other one where you're just keeping the top of the head down onto the floor. Just a couple of breaths here. And then you can come down onto the floor. Everybody comes into child pose for a couple of breaths with your arms along the body, forehead onto the floor. Staying here for a couple of breaths, connecting the third eye onto the floor. Line your torso onto the thighs, knees together, sitting on your heels. And then very gently start coming off the mat by sitting onto your heels, and then we can come into the relaxation so that you're unfolding the mat Now your choice here, you can do the meditation by sitting on a mat or sitting on the block and crossing your legs in front of you, making sure you're keeping upright. Otherwise you're coming into the corpse pose. So you're lying onto the floor, feet as wide as the mat, lining into the mat, tilting your pelvis under so as much as your lower back is on the floor, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, opening the palms up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin under. You can use a pillow underneath your head if you feel uncomfortable with your neck, or if you feel uncomfortable on your lower back, bend the knees so that the feet are on the mat and the knees are touching with each other. Okay? I'm coming up into a seated cross-legged position, and then we're just going to do some talking meditation, focusing on different parts of the body, and then focusing very much onto the third eye and the crown chakra. Okay, start relaxing the feet, relax your ankles, relax your calves, relax your shins, relax your knee joints, relax the back of the thighs, relax the front of the thighs, relax your hips, coming all the way across the hips into the glutes and into the middle of the glutes, and then coming under and over your reproductive organs into the pelvic area, relaxing the pelvic area, coming up onto the lower abdomen, so the air between the pelvis and the belly button, and then coming up into the upper abdomen, so the air between the belly button and the rib cage, relaxing the rib cage all the way up into the chest bone, the breasts, your chest, the top of your shoulders, and going down across the back, either side of the spine, from the top of the shoulders into the space in between the shoulder blades, relaxing your shoulder blades, relaxing the middle of the back, and relaxing your lower back. Coming to the waistline, you're coming to the sides of the body, up all the way up to the armpits, relaxing the sides of the body, and then relaxing the shoulder joint from the armpit, the front of the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, and the back of the shoulder. Relax your upper arms, relax your elbows, relax your forearms, relax your wrists, and relax your hands. Coming back to the top of the shoulders, relax the back of the neck, relax the front of the neck. Relax your chin, relax your lower jaw, relax your mouth, relax your upper lip, relax your nose, relax your cheeks, relax your eyes, your temples, your forehead, the scalp and the whole of your head. And now what I want you to do, I want you to start with your eyes closed to look into your eyebrows. So you're looking up and across into the middle of your eyes. This is with your eyes closed. And just imagine this bright ball of purple light starting from the space in between the eyebrows and spreading throughout the whole of the skull and your brain. Activating the two glands that these two chakras are in charge of, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. The pineal gland is in charge of your spiritual connection as well as your circadian system. So daylight and nighttime, sleeping and being awake. And now I want you to imagine a bright ball of white light starting from the top of the head, washing down throughout the whole of your body. So from the top of the head, it starts to spread into your skull, into your brain, into your face, all the way down to the neck, permeating every cell of the body, going down into the top of the shoulders and your arms, all the way down the torso, into the legs, all the way down to your feet, washing yourself with this bright ball of white light that is bringing healing and calming and nourishment to all of your body. And I just want you to repeat to yourself these three things. The world is my teacher. I'm in tune with my intuition. I am a spiritual being. The world is my teacher. I am in tune with my intuition, and I am a spiritual being. And now, very gently, start bringing your attention back to the rest of the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through your mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And if you want, start bringing your legs together, bring your arms over your head, tense up the whole body and then relax it, hugging one knee at a time towards your chest. And then you can either roll yourself onto the right side, pushing yourself up with your left arm, or you can start rocking back and forward until you're coming up into a cross-legged position onto the mat. And then bring your hands in front of your chest, close your eyes, and bow to yourself for allowing yourself to practice today. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.